touch and burn.
Hey everyone, so tonight I wanted to discuss Datachi's second full length for Sublight Records, and that is Shock Diamonds. Now, out of his two for Sublight, I fall on the side of saying that The Elements was the more fun sounding record, and this record has always reminded me of THX 1138 and how Robert Duvall, after he's arrested and he's tossed in that like spacious white prison where he meets Donald Pleasance, and he ends up getting tired of sitting there eating those weird little cube things, and so he decides to just get up and walk to try and find a way out, and it seems to go forever, and no matter how much he walks, there's just more white. That's what I think of whenever I'm listening to this record, and I think that that's predominantly because with this record I found that Datachi, each track on here, they don't really start and they don't really end. It's almost like they kind of creep up on you. And then all of a sudden there's this like sort of like skittering cacophony of like a breakbeat that kind of fires in and then echoes out into a whole bunch of nothing. And then the track or the record will fall silent at that point, and there's that sense of like claustrophobia, I suppose, where no matter how far you move through this, you always know that that rolling wall of sound is going to find you again. And it's kind of like that water planet they were on in Interstellar. Like, you know, when they first land there and every hour's worth 7 years back on Earth, and now it's really not so bad, but then all of a sudden you start to hear something, and before you know it, there's like a 300-foot wall of water coming towards you. That's kind of like what this record's like. I found that the tracks and how the tracks will shift and change, they always seem to creep up on me. It's like I'll find myself sort of lulled into a sense of stillness by the quiet aspects, and then all of a sudden, you know, I'm Anne Hathaway needing to be rescued by that giant block robot while the giant wall of water comes to take me away. And it's a pretty good way of putting it, because it's almost like in a lot of ways this record was made for the sake of math too. It's like this is his nod, or this is Datachi's nod, sorry, to groups like Autechre, especially if you check out the song titles from this record with like, they're clearly very Autechre-ish, and yet at the same time, I would argue that he's not ripping off anything Autechre does. Autechre is off doing their own thing, and he is creating a very sparse and very cold and a very clinical digital world where, like I said, things will creep up on you. And at times, too, this record gets incredibly loud, and it's almost off-putting because it's like I said, you kind of get lulled into a sense of silence, and then all of a sudden it's like bong, 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 and it just kicks in for 5 to 20 seconds, and then it kind of like, it's like a rock skipping across water. It just vanishes again, and there's a few ripples, and then everything is still and quiet until the next little mini attack that you have to compete with. So this, because of that, this isn't a record that I find myself listening to a lot. It definitely wouldn't be something that I would put on when I was doing an activity that I enjoyed. Like if I was sewing something or if I was painting something, this wouldn't be the record that I would put on, just because it's too chaotically quiet and too sparsely frenetic. Like it's out of nowhere. It just kind of feels like you're being chased by the Tasmanian devil, and then it's just gone again, and you look around you and it's like I said, you're trapped in that giant white room from THX 1138, and you don't know where the little bastard is, and you don't know where he's going to come from, because you can't keep spinning in circles because you get dizzy. That's kind of how I feel, or at least I think that's how I feel. Now that I've given a bunch of examples, I'm not sure how I feel anymore. No, the white room thing is still true, and the being trapped on the water planet in Interstellar, that's definitely true. And yeah, the Tasmanian devil, as far as the sound kind of just coming and it's just there and it's all over you, yeah, that's pretty accurate too. So with that, I will cut it off here. So thank you so much for hanging out with me for almost 5 minutes while I discussed Datachi's second full length for Sublight Records, and that is Shock Diamonds. Like always, if you like this review, don't forget to do something nice for somebody, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Have a good night. I just wanted to say thank you for making it through the entire video. I really appreciate it. And I'm going to remind everyone one more time, even though I've probably already done this in the video that you just watched, to please click the like button as well as the subscribe button because it helps this channel grow. And thank you for hitting like and subscribe, and we will see you guys really soon.